This is a quick tutorial video showing you how to install the VR1 tool and explain its functionality. Once you have downloaded the Somnium VR1 tool, head over and run the initial setup wizard. This will show you if you have connected your Somnium VR1 correctly, including power, USB and DisplayPort connections. If anything is incorrectly connected, it will show here. After this, our tool will do a small system scan. This is just to ensure you have the correct hardware to power VR1. If your hardware checks out, it's time to install the software. First up, OpenXR. This is an open source standard for access to virtual reality platforms and is required for most applications. Following this is SteamVR. Don't worry if you've already got this installed, just hit next and it will get it all sorted for you. Next up is the UltraLeap hand tracking drivers. This is specific to those who have the hand tracking module. Once everything is installed, you can now dive into the tool and fine-tune your VR1 experience. The home screen of the VR1 tool shows vital information at a quick glance. Here, you can see your firmware and software versions alongside some quick actions to the right. These include toggling what you see in VR on your desktop, showing your virtual desktop inside Somnium VR1, enabling your mixed reality, and a very useful render resolution slider just in case you need to dial back that resolution quickly before launching a demanding game or application. Let's head over to settings and go over the customizable functionality of the VR1. First one is the rendering resolution. This is the resolution sent to OpenXR and SteamVR for your applications. If you have a fairly powerful rig, then you can turn this up, but it's worth experimenting to find where the sweet spot is for your machine. For my case, I use a 3080 Ti and I find myself switching between 60 and 80% depending on what game I'm playing. You might find yourself coming back and increasing this rendering resolution after dialing in a few other details. First up, foveated rendering. As shown here, the VR1 tool allows you to fully customize fixed foveated rendering, allowing you to decrease the resolution of your peripheral vision to whatever value you set it to, and even letting you choose where it starts. This will have a large impact on your performance while still keeping your central sweet spot crisp and clear. Using a mixture of our own algorithms and techniques from both AMD and Nvidia, we can apply upscaling to any application directly through the VR1 tool. When selecting the low preset, it will render at a lower resolution, then upscale it to the desired render resolution you set previously. Higher presets mean higher quality. It is best to play around with your render resolution, foveated rendering settings, and then finally upscaling to get the best visual quality and the highest consistent performance. Next up is screen settings. These change your VR1's display's characteristics, allowing you to customize things like brightness and contrast. If you have a hand tracking variant, here you can change your tracking mode. Example, you can have it on the desk and use it as a normal UltraLeap camera. You also have the ability to have your hands shown at all times here. For variants with eye tracking, this is the tool you use to measure your IPD and to calibrate your eye tracking. There's also an option here to have it automatically start, and if you want to dial it in even further, there is an advanced eye tracking calibration available too. To calibrate the eye tracking, simply put the VR1 on and press measure IPD. A small diamond shape will appear and it will automatically tell you what your IPD should be set to. The sound section allows you to choose both your microphone and audio output and their respective levels. There is even a built-in audio tester for both, just so you know everything is working as intended. If you want to check if your VR1 has a firmware update, head over to the firmware section and you can check it here by selecting look for updates. The button section allows you to customize your 4 programmable buttons on top of your VR1. You can even make the buttons execute a file. Once you have selected something, it will save automatically. The advanced section is quite special. Why render past your field of view if you can't see it? This tool further enhances performance by letting you choose how much to render in real time. This includes vertical, horizontal, and even the central horizontal angle. If for any reason you feel the world scale is off slightly, we can play around here with the eye relief offset. This is how far the perceived rendering is from your eyes. There's an option here to enable canted rendering, which is a technique used to improve performance and reduce hardware requirements for rendering complex scenes, but it is not always supported. If you come across any compatibility issues, you can always try forcing HDCP. The software top section is a great place to make sure your software is installed and ready to go. Here you can toggle both OpenXR and SteamVR, as well as customizing your SteamVR IPD rounding, and if you want to see the IPD measurements inside your headset at all. The VR view is great for content creators, or if you simply want to show off what you're viewing inside VR to the people around you. Here you can choose what eye you'd like to display, its resolution, and a few handy toggles to force warping, which will toggle it from a circular view to a more natural square view, and you can also set it to always be over the top of any application. This is perfect for shows or events where you want the people to see what you're doing in VR at all times. There is also the ability to toggle what overlays are visible in the VR view, and the tool comes equipped with its own screenshot and video recording services. The tracking tab is home to a few tweaks. The Origin section is only designed for native Somnium OpenXR or complete custom solutions. It does not change the position inside SteamVR. The Calibrate section allows setting the current position of the headset as 0 origin. This is the same as the Origin offset, and only works at OpenXR or custom native applications, and will not influence the tracking position in SteamVR. This is very handy if you're sat inside a motion rig and need to set your position. Internal Sensor Merge adds our IMU data to SteamVR tracking for better rotational accuracy. Motion cancellation allows you to select a SteamVR tracker ID if you have some connected, and then it subtracts the position between the headset and the tracker. This is used for compensating the movement if you're using a motion rig. And the legacy input utilizes the older SteamVR tracking API for applications which don't support the new API. And finally, the mixed reality tab for those equipped with the pass-through cameras. We do recommend users to test their camera connection. You can do so by pressing the test camera connection button just to make sure you have the required bandwidth for these high resolution pass-through cameras. You can also change your pass-through's rendering resolution and frame rate. We recommend switching this to the slightly lower resolution but with a higher frame rate. You can also toggle upscaling algorithms here if you want to enhance the quality even more. We both solutions from both AMD and Nvidia, so it's best to play around with both and find out which you prefer to use. Below that is the physical virtual position. Similar to how the eye relief offset works, you can adjust this if your real world scale feels off. Next is exposure. Here you can leave our algorithm to automatically adjust your pass-through, or you can fully customize how it looks, including the white balance. Next up is masking. We have a whole bunch of different masking solutions that should fit everyone's needs. Let's go through them now. Firstly, overlay. This is the default mode which shows the full pass-through image on top of the virtual screen. Background. This places the mixed reality image behind the virtual screen, but it does require an application which is configured with the correct alpha channel information. The application then specifies parts of the image which will be shown to the mixed reality camera and which will be the virtual image. 3D mesh. Users can select a custom 3D mesh model and change its rotation, position, and scale. When users look inside this 3D model, they will see the mixed reality image. Everything else will be virtual. This is most useful for flight simulators with custom physical cockpits and controls. Chroma key. Users can select a specific color which will be used for masking. This is a standard green screen technique. All parts of the mixed reality camera image with this specific color range will be see-through, and so the user will see the virtual image in those parts instead. 3D mesh and chroma key. This is a combination of the 3D mesh and the chroma key sections. Users will only see the mixed reality image inside the 3D mesh, but the parts with a specific color will be see-through and also show a virtual image. Cinema. This mode places the mixed reality image on a virtual screen in the virtual space. By adjusting the distance, you can make this image smaller, and it can either move with the headset or it can stay in place. Custom texture. This is available through custom C# scripting and basically leaves all the control of the mixed reality setup to the specific application. It is currently not intended for any user engagement. You can also check your mixed reality pass-through firmware here and check if there's an update available. We hope you enjoy your VR1 and dialing in the perfect settings for you. This tool will be updated in the future, bringing even more functionality. To keep updated, simply join our Discord, where you'll find a whole bunch of fellow XR enthusiasts. For now, take care and we'll see you in VR.